Good morning, everyone. I am Ajay. Welcome back to Let Us Learn. This is your online classroom. Let us continue our journey with vocabulary, one of the most important areas in learning English. Before begin our today's lesson, let us take few minutes to revise what we have learned on this topic so far. So why should we improve our vocabulary? Why should we learn new words? As you know, English is a global language. It is not our mother tongue. It is other tongue. So if you want to use that global language, so we have to learn new words. We have to improve our vocabulary. By learning new words, we can express our thoughts, our feelings effectively, and also it sharpens our thinking process. So by learning new words, then only we can use English as natives, both in speaking and writing. So that's why we have to constantly improve our vocabulary. We have to learn new words in English. So you may ask, how can we improve our vocabulary? As we have discussed, there is no fast and hard rules to learn new words to improve vocabulary. So there are many ways, but we identified four ways, four areas to improve vocabulary. So what are those? Yes. First one is using a good dictionary. We can learn new words by using a good dictionary. Next one, learning root words. Learning the use and meanings of prefixes and suffixes. Last one is learning one word substitutes. So in this journey we have focused on these four areas. So far we have learnt about three topics: how to use the dictionary, how to learning root words, and use how to learn the use and meanings of a prefixes and suffixes. Okay, let us have a quick review on these topics. Okay, what is the first one? How to use the dictionary. How can we improve our vocabulary using a good dictionary? So what is a dictionary? Yes, dictionary is a referring book. So every language has its own dictionary. So like English also like that. In English we can have many dictionaries. Okay, dictionary is a what can we find in a dictionary? Yes, it is a list of words arranged in systematic order. So in every language, every dictionary, so the words are arranged in a systematic order. So it is a contain of list of words. So every good dictionary has many features. So by observing those features, we can enhance our vocabulary. We can learn new words. Okay. So how can we observe main features? How can you learn new words using dictionary? Okay. What is the basic purpose of the using a dictionary? Yes, by referring dictionary, we can find out meanings. Okay, that is the first. Okay, not only meanings, other points also there. Those are the main features of a dictionary. When we observe all those main features, then we can master in English. So let us see one by one. First one is meaning or meanings. So as you know, so one word has many meanings. Sometimes the word used as a noun, sometimes used as an adjective, sometimes used as verb. So we have observed with examples. So one word may have different meanings. By referring dictionary, we can find out all the meanings of the dictionary, all the meanings of the words. Okay, that is the first feature of a good dictionary. Next, word class. What is a word class? Yes, word class is nothing but parts of speech. Word family. We can call it as word family. Okay, parts of speech. What is parts of speech? As we have discussed in the previous session, a word has different duties in different sentences. Okay, the duty of a word is called part of speech. Okay, by referring dictionary, we can find out the part of the speech of the word, whether it is a noun or whether it is an adjective or whether it is an verb or whether it is an preposition, like that. In every good dictionary, we can find this word class of the word family of the word. So by referring dictionary, we can identify the um, parts of speech of the word. That is another important feature. Next one is spellings. As you know, sometimes some words has different spellings. For example, color in British English, COLOUR, that is the meaning of that is the spelling of the word color. COLOR in American English, like color, many other words are there. So their spellings are different from American English to British English. So by referring dictionary, we can identify the spelling of the word based on the context, like whether we are using American English or whether we use British English. Based on that, we can identify the spelling. Okay, that is one area. Next one is pronunciation. That is the most important areas in English, especially in speaking. If you want to speak like natives, then we have to focus on pronunciation. That is the most important part of learning English. Pronunciation. As you know, English is not our mother tongue, it is other tongue. If you want to speak like natives, then we have to focus on pronunciation, how a word should pronounce. By referring a good dictionary, we can find out the pronunciation of the word. We can find the phonetic transcription. So in the dictionary, how a word should be pronounced. This is the important feature of learning English. By using a good dictionary, we can find out how to pronounce the word. Then only we can speak as natives. Next one, word stress. This is also an important aspect while speaking English, especially. Natives give stress certain words. As you know, what is a word? What is a combination of syllables? Some words may be monosyllable, means single syllable, some double syllable, some has more than two syllables. So on those words, native speakers sometimes they uh, give stress on first syllable, for some words second syllable, some words middle syllable, like that. Not only like that, with the same word that may be used as different parts of speech. Same word can be used as a noun, can be used as an adjective, can be used as verb. So in each case, the stress pattern is also changes. So by observing dictionary, a good dictionary, we can find out the word stress, where we have to stress before the first syllable or after the second syllable, like that. Okay, a good dictionary gives us word stress also. Next one, that is usage. That is the most important uh, use important parts. How to use a word. Always keep in mind, expanding your vocabulary doesn't mean learning the definition of the words or memorizing the meanings of the words. Always keep in mind, expanding your vocabulary doesn't mean learning the definition of the words or memorizing the meanings of the words. How to use them, that is the most important one. Usage is most important. How to use the word. So in good dictionary we can find the usage with examples, okay, like pronunciation. So this one is also very important form of the feature of a good dictionary. Next one, so as you know, antonyms and synonyms. So in every good dictionary we can find the antonyms and synonyms of the word. You know what is an antonym? Yes, antonym is opposite meanings of the word. We can find opposite meanings of the word in a dictionary. Synonyms, similar meanings of the word. Okay, by learning antonyms and synonyms we can master English, especially in thesaurus. That is also a type of dictionary. In thesaurus we can find synonyms and antonyms. Okay, by learning those synonyms and antonyms we can enrich our vocabulary. Okay, next one, collocation. That is also an important part in improving our vocabulary. What are collocations? Yes, collocations are nothing but words. Some words always go together. That is, so native speakers use like that. Some words always go together. Object, poverty, like we have seen. Okay, make a mistake, like that. These are collocations. Okay, by learning collocations we can speak English as natives. Okay, by using dictionary regularly, so we can improve our vocabulary. We can learn new words. So that features we have seen. We can learn meanings. We can identify word stress. We can learn word class, that means part of speech of the word. We can know spellings, whether British English and American English. Next we can know pronunciation, how to pronounce the word. We can learn synonyms and antonyms of the words. We can learn usage of the word, and we can also master our collocations. Okay, this is one area. By using a dictionary we can improve English. So next area is learning root word. Learning root words. So what is the root word? Yes, we have discussed. Root word is a simple form of word or part of a word without prefix and suffixes. Okay, so by learning root words also we can improve our vocabulary, as we have observed. Greek and Latin roots. As you know, English is a global language. It has borrowed many roots from many other languages. Okay, it borrowed words from many other languages, especially Greek and Latin. Okay, then English vocabulary enriched. Okay, by learning root words, so we can learn new words. We can enrich our vocabulary. We can master vocabulary. Okay, we have observed some Greek roots and some Latin roots. That is also an important way to improve our vocabulary. Next one. This is also most important area. That is learning the use and meaning of prefixes and suffixes. So in the last session we focused on this topic, how to use prefixes and what is the meaning of prefixes and suffixes. So what is prefix? Yes, prefix is a word word fragment. It may be a letter, sometimes it may be group of letters. So added in front of a word. Pre means before. Prefix is a word fragment added in front of a word is called prefix. We have observed many prefixes. So from Greek and from Latin. So next suffix. Suffix, that is also word fragment that added at the end of a word. That is suffix. Suffix is a word fragment. It may be a letter or it may be group of letters that added at the end of a word. That is suffix. So in the last session we focused on especially Greek and Latin suffixes, and we learn their meanings and their usage. Usage means some examples how the meaning changed by adding suffix. Same, how the meaning changed by adding prefix. We have observed in the previous session. Now we focus on the last area what we have identified, that is one word substitutions. One word substitutions. Today we focus on this topic, one word substitutes. What is one word substitutes? The name itself indicates one word substitute is a word that replaces a group of words. Okay, so we have to use one word instead of many group of words. Okay, so one word substitute means we can use one word instead of many other words. So that is a one word substitute. This plays an important role in using English. If you master in one word substitutes, so we can enrich our vocabulary. For example, invincible. Observe the slide. Invincible. What is the meaning of invincible? Too strong to be defeated. If some person is there, is too strong, is very strong to be defeated, so that person is called as invincible. Ram is an invincible person, warrior. Okay, is too strong to be defeated. Instead of using too strong to be defeated, we can simply use invincible. So by learning one word substitutes, we can enrich our vocabulary. Okay, for example, omnipotent. Omnipotent, that means having unlimited power. The person having unlimited power, that is omnipotent. Instead of using unlimited power, we can use omnipotent. So Ram, same. Sri Ram, Lord Sri Ram is omnipotent. Okay, by mastering these one word substitutes, we can enrich our English vocabulary. So in today's class we will see so many one word substitutes. These are all examples. Okay, like this we have to improve, and we have to focus on more one word substitutions. So the knowledge of one word substitutes not only saves time, keep in mind. So by learning one word substitutes not only saves time while writing, but also it helps you in scoring good marks in competitive examinations. Especially keep in mind, in competitive examinations we have to write one word substitutes. Okay, it is a test for to checking your knowledge in English, knowledge and English vocabulary. By mastering one word substitutes, so we can enrich our vocabulary. Okay, one word substitutes. Let us focus on some examples on this class. So these are some examples. By this, like this, we can learn other one word substitutes. If you learn one word substitutes, you can be the king of the English. Okay. For example, first observe omnipotent. Yes, we have seen earlier. Omnipotent. What is the meaning? That means having unlimited power. Having unlimited power. Instead of writing 3 words, having unlimited power, we can use omnipotent. So, omnipotent, that is a one word substitute. Next, omniscient. That means having complete or unlimited knowledge. The person having complete or unlimited knowledge. Omniscience. Next, omnipresent, especially God. Present everywhere at the same time. Omnipresent. So observe 3 words, all are referring to God. God is omnipotent, is omniscient. Next, omnipresent. Omnipresent means present everywhere at the same time. Like, okay, omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. Observe how one word substitutes are used in our daily speech. Let us see some more. Theist. Theist means a person who believes in the existence of God. A person who believes in the existence of God, who believes God. So, instead of using all these words, we simply call theist. Like some people don't believe God, so they may call as atheist. Atheist. A person who doesn't believe in the existence of God is atheist. Next one, agnostic. This is different one. A person who claims neither faith nor disbelief in the existence of God. So, he neither faith and nor belief in the existence of God. Observe three personalities: theist, atheist, and agnostic. Like optimist. Optimist. So this is also one of the characteristic of a person. Optimistic personality type. Some people are optimist, some people are pessimist, some people are egoist, some people are philanthropist. Let us see optimist. What is the meaning of optimist? One who looks at the bright side of the world. One who looks at the bright side of the things or world. That person is called as optimist. He always wishes good. He always sees the bright side of the world. That is optimist. So opposite to optimist is pessimist. One who looks at the dark side of the things is pessimist, is negative always. Okay, the pessimist. One who looks at the dark side of the things is pessimist, is opposite to optimist. Optimist always looks at the bright side of the world, and pessimist always looks at the dark side of the world. Next one, egoist, or we can call egotist. Egoist and egotist. That is a selfish person who talks and thinks himself or herself. That is one of the personality types. Okay, personality types. Egotist. Some people are egotists. They always speak about themselves. Okay, they always talked about themselves. That persons are called as egotists or egotist. Next, other people. Philanthropist. He always helps the needy person. Opposite to egoist. Philanthropist. This type of persons always helps to others who are in needy. Okay. Right, let us see some more one word substitutes. Calligraphy. Observe. Calligraphy means the art of handwriting. Calligraphy, the art of handwriting, that is a calligraphy. Autobiography and biography. So what is biography and what is autobiography? Yes, auto, already auto is a root word, we have observed. Auto means self. So while learning root words we focused on auto and also bio and also graphy. These are all root words. Auto means self, bio means life, graph means right. While learning root words we focused on this auto, self. Auto means self, bio means life, graph means right, autobiography means the life history of a person written by himself or herself, that is autobiography, written by himself or herself, that is autobiography. Next, biography. Here bio means life, graph means right, biography, a story of someone's life written by another person. Okay, that is biography. For example, your story was written by yourself, that is your autobiography, but your life history was written by some other person, that is called biography. So this is the difference between biography and autobiography. Next, anarchist, anarchy, autonomous. Observe these three words. Anarchist, what is the meaning of anarchist? One who rebels against authority or established order, that person is called as anarchist. He always rebel against government, okay, authority, that is anarchist. And anarchy, the absence of government or control in a society, that is anarchy. That is always danger to the society. Anarchy is always danger to the society. The absence of government, anarchy means nothing but absence of government or lack of control on society. Autonomous, as you know, many autonomous colleges are there. Autonomous university. Auto means here no, self. Autonomous, a person or an institute that can take decision independently, that is autonomous. An institute, a college that takes decision independently, that college, that institution is called as autonomous institute, autonomous college. Okay, autonomous. Instead of using so many words, we simply use autonomous. Okay, this is the beauty of learning one word substitutes. So by learning one word substitutes we can improve our vocabulary. Let us see here. Observe the difference between amateur, veteran, novice and professional. Amateur, veteran, novice and professional. These are all related to activities, the persons, professions. Okay, let us see the what is the difference between these one word substitute. What is amateur, what is veteran, so who is novice, who is a professional. What is the difference between these all four one word substitutes, four words? First one, amateur, one who engages in an activity as pastime rather than a profession, that person is called amateur. Okay, a person engages in an activity, that may be writing or that may be painting. So that activity is, that's pastime, it is not his profession. For example, my profession is teaching, but I simply write articles, that is pastime activity. So that person is called amateur. Writing is not his profession, but that is a pastime activity. painting is not his or her profession, that is a pastime activity, so that person is called amateur. Okay. Veteran, observe the difference between amateur and veteran. Veteran is someone who has a lot of experience in a field, so that is amateur. A person who has lot of experience in a field, any field, that person is veteran. It may be politics, it may be writing, it may be cricket, any field. Okay. Novice, one who is inexperienced or new to a job. Observe the difference between veteran and novice. So novice, one is inexperienced, whereas veteran, he has lot of experience in the same field. But coming to novice, one is inexperienced or is new to a job, is a new one, just entered the profession or entered the job, entered the field, that is novice. He has no experience, so that person is called novice. Next, professional, a person with proven practical knowledge in a field, that person is called as professional. So observe the meaning of different words: amateur, veteran, novice, professional. Okay. If you master about all these words, these are one word substitute, then you can use your English beautifully. Okay. Right. Next, antidote, observe the words: antidote, antiseptic, antacid, panacea. These four words also one word substitutes. Observe the meanings. Antidote, antidote is a substance that can act against the effect of a poison. A substance means that is also a medicine. Antidote is a medicine that can act against the effect of poison. Okay. It act against poison, that is antidote. Already we have seen anti, that is also what is root word. Anti means against. Okay. Antidote, that works against poison, that is one type of medicine. Next one, antiseptic, that is also medicine that prevents infection. Okay. By wounds, by injuries, so generally we use antiseptics medicines. Okay. Antiseptic is a medicine that prevents infection of wounds or injuries. Okay. Antacid, that is also medicine that prevents acidity. You know about acidity. Okay, that is, so it prevents acidity. We use a medicine, that medicine is called antacid. Next one, panacea. Observe this word: a medicine which cures all diseases, a solution for all problems. Two meanings: a medicine that cures all diseases, that is called as panacea, or a solution for all problems, that is also called as panacea. So observe the difference between these words: antidote, antiseptic, antacid, panacea. Next one, ambidextrous, amphibious, ambiguous. Three words. Ambidextrous, meaning able to use both hands equally well, both hands, right and left. The person can use both hands, right and left, equally well. Is not right hand, not left hander. You can use both hands equally well. That person is called as ambidextrous. Okay. Next, amphibious, living on land as well as in water. That is animal. A animal living on land and in water. Not only water, not only on land. It lives both. It lives as equally as on land and in water. That those animals are called as amphibious. Okay. Next, ambiguous. Ambiguous. What is the meaning? Having more than one meaning. Okay, sometimes having more than one meaning, that is ambiguous. That means not clear, unclear. So because it has more than one meaning, if meaning is one, then we can understand easily. Some situations are like that, ambiguous. Okay, in that cases we cannot understand clearly. Okay, right. Next one, anthology, encyclopedia, chronicle, etymology, glossary. So these are our common words we use in our daily speech or daily writing. Anthology, encyclopedia, chronicle, etymology, and glossary. So let us see their meanings. Anthology. So we already discussed anthology. What is that? In the first lesson. Yes. Geetanjali. Geetanjali is anthology of Rabindranath Tagore. It is a collection of poems. Geetanjali. Okay. While we were discussing on a little grain of gold, that is a poem written by Rabindranath Tagore. Then so we discuss about anthology. That poem is taken from anthology of Rabindranath Tagore. So what is the name of the anthology? Geetanjali. Okay, Geetanjali is example. That is a anthology. That is a collection of poems. Okay, anthology means collection of poems or stories, not of poems or stories. That is all here on the slide. Some typographical error. A collection of poems or stories. Okay, encyclopedia means a book of information covering all subjects, all in one, like all in one book. Okay, a book of information covers all subjects. That is encyclopedia. Next, chronicle. Chronicle means record of historical events. What happened first, what happened next, what happened after that, like that is a chronicle. Okay, we can preserve history. Okay, record of historical events. Next, etymology, the study of the origin and history of words. That is etymology. Study of origin and history of word, where this word is originated. What is the genesis of this word and what is the history of this word? That is etymology. That is also one of the subject. Etymology, the study of the origin and history of words. Like glossary. Glossary in every book, every textbook, at the end of the textbook you will find glossary. If you observe, glossary, a list of terms in a text with their explanation. That is glossary. Glossary means a list of terms in a text with their explanation. That is glossary. Okay. Next, focus on these words: orthopedist, pediatrician, dermatologist, physician. Different professions. Okay, doctor, but is well in different areas, is specialized in different areas. Okay, so observe the meanings. Orthopedist. Who is orthopedist? All are doctors, but they are their own specialty. Orthopedist, one who treats the fracture of bones. The doctor who treats the fracture of bones is called as orthopedist. Okay. Next, pediatrician. Observe, pediatrician, a doctor who treats the disease of children is called as pediatrician, who treats the disease of children. Okay. Dermatologist, Derma, already we have discussed. Derma, that is also root word. Derma means skin. Okay. Doctor who treats skin diseases is called as dermatologist. Okay. Already we have discussed in root words. Cardiologist. Cardiologist means is a specialty in heart. Cardiologist. Physician. Okay. One who attends to sick people and prescribes medicine. So that person is called as physician. So in the field of medicine you will find different specialties. Okay, by learning them, so we can express our thoughts effectively. So we have to focus. These are only examples. These 4 or 5 are only examples. So if you go into details you can find many specialties. Medicine field: orthopedist, pediatrician, dermatologist, cardiologist, physician, like, okay, surgeon. Surgeon means who operates. Okay, who operates, surgeon. And gynecologist, like, okay, these are only examples to learn one word substitutes, the importance of one word substitutes. Next, let us move to in the slide. Unanimous, unanimous, anonymous. Observe difference between unanimous, anonymous. What is the difference between these two words? Unanimous means a decision that is accepted by all. That is anonymous. Is elected as unanimous. That means the person is elected by all. A decision that is accepted by all. Okay, unanimous. In elections generally we come across these words, anonymous. That person is anonymous means no competitor. He was elected by all. Okay, that is anonymous. Next, anonymous. That is, what is the difference between anonymous? Not identified by name or unknown name. That is anonymous. Anonymous, anonymous. Observe the difference between a person not identified by name, unknown name. Okay, while reading newspapers you can find anonymous persons. Okay, they give information to the reporters but they don't like to mention their name. Okay, that person is anonymous. Next, pseudonym. Pseudonym means a factious name, especially one used by an author. That is pseudonym. Pseudo means already we have discussed. Pseudo means false. Pseudonym. Pseudo means false. Pseudonym means a fictitious name. It is not his original name. Okay, original name, but he write on that name. We can call it as a pen name. Especially authors use, writers, by writing essays, while writing dramas, while writing novels. Some authors, some writers use pseudonym. Okay, they write their articles or essays or dramas, novels and pseudonym. Okay, patent, another word. Patent means sole right to produce or sell an invention. That is patent. So patent rights we call. Okay, in especially in experiments, technology, patent rights, sole right to produce or sell an invention. If you invent something, then we have to apply for patent rights. Okay, that is patent. Sole right to produce or sell an invention. Next one, observe the difference between these words: endemic, epidemic and pandemic. These are three related to diseases. What is endemic, what is epidemic, what is pandemic? Now we are facing pandemic. COVID is a pandemic. So what is the difference between these three words? When we have to use endemic, when we have to use epidemic, when we have to use pandemic. If you know is one word substitutions very well, then we can express our thoughts effectively. So first one, Endemic. Endemic is a disease regularly found in a particular area among particular people. That is called endemic. Okay, we can find that disease only in particular area, only particular people. Always keep in mind, one disease we can find it particular area and particular people. That is called endemic. Next one, epidemic. The spread of an infectious disease in very short time in a place. That is epidemic. That spreads within a short time. Okay, that is an infectious disease that spreads within a short time. That is called as epidemic. Next one, pandemic. Okay, our COVID-19 is also a epidemic. Okay, sorry, pandemic. Prevalent over whole country or the world, as we have seen. Almost all the countries are facing this pandemic. COVID-19 is a disease prevalent over a whole country or the world. This is a live example to us. COVID-19 is a pandemic. Next one, loquacious, verbose. Observe the difference between loquacious and verbose. Loquacious, talking a lot, too much. Some person talking too much. So those person is called loquacious. Okay, talking a lot or too much. Verbose, using more words than required. That is verbose. Okay, for example, we can use one word substitutions, but otherwise more than one words we explain, that is verbose. For example, epidemic, we can say epidemic. COVID is a epidemic, no problem. COVID is a disease that spread all over the world or all over the India, all over the country. That is verbose. Okay, using more words than required. One word is required, or two three words are required, but more than to describe something, that is verbose. Okay, verbose means using more words than required. Audience, number of people listening to a lecture or a content. That is audience. Audience, spectator, like. Okay, celibacy. Observe difference between celibacy, stoic, invincible, stalwart. Generally we use these words. Celibacy means the state of remaining unmarried is celibacy. Some people are always remaining unmarried. Celibacy, the state of remaining unmarried. Celibacy. Next, stoic, one who is indifferent to pleasure or pain. That personality is called stoic person. Lord Ram is stoic. Okay, who gives indifferent to pleasure or pain. It takes both equal, whether it is pain or pleasure. It is pleasure or pain, it takes equally. That person is called a stoic person. Next, invincible. We have discussed. Invincible means too strong to be defeated. Okay, he cannot be defeated. That was invincible. Okay, stalwart, a loyal supporter of an organization. That is stalwart. If you are a loyal supporter of an organization, then you will be a stalwart of that organization. A stalwart. Next one, invisible. Observe difference between invisible, indelible, inevitable, irrevocable, and inflammable. Invisible means that which cannot be seen. We cannot see. So COVID-19, coronavirus is invisible. We cannot see. Coronavirus, that is invisible. That which cannot be seen. Invisible. Indelible, a mark that cannot be erased easily. Indelible ink. Indelible mark. Okay, indelible, that cannot be erased easily while utilizing your franchise. Okay, right of vote, then indelible marks are marked. Okay, indelible ink, indelible mark, that is a mark that cannot be erased easily. Inevitable, observe the meaning, that which will happen and cannot be avoided, you have to face it, we cannot avoid them, that is an inevitable situation. Okay, irrevocable, something that cannot be changed, if you make a mistake, irrevocable, you cannot be changed. Okay, it is not in our hands, it was happened. Next, inflammable, a substance that catches fire quickly, inflammable or flammable. Okay, some items, some substances that easily catch fire, so inflammable, that is called. Next, imminent, infallible, insolvent, indefatigable, introspection. You can observe the meanings. Imminent, about to happen in the immediate future, that is called imminent, that about to happen in the immediate future. Infallible, incapable of making mistakes, that is infallible. Insolvent, unable to pay debts, some people are insolvent person. Okay, IP, so insolvent, unable to pay debts. Indefatigable, able to work for a long time without becoming tired, that person is called indefatigable, he tirelessly work. Okay, the person able to work for long time without becoming tired. Okay, tireless. Introspection, this is also, so we have to for practice introspection, always we have to introspect ourselves. Introspect means exam of one's own thoughts and feelings. Everyone must practice this one, introspect, always introspect yourself. Okay, so examine one's own thoughts and feelings, that is introspection. Next, universal, affecting or done by all people and things in the world, that is universal, something has happened all people all over the world, that is universal. Universal truth, sun rises in the east, that is a universal truth. Like spendthrift, that is wonder, a person who wastes money, that person is called as spendthrift. So most of us also like that, spendthrift. Perennial, lasting for a long, apparently infinite time. Okay, that is lasting long. Some, for example, some perennial rivers are there, Ganga, Brahmaputra, these are perennial rivers. Okay, that flows continuously, long. Okay, like teetotaler, that is one who never takes alcoholic drinks. Okay, so very rare to find these personalities nowadays. Okay, teetotaler, one who never takes alcoholic drinks. Okay, that person is called teetotaler. Next, glutton, one who eats excessively, that person is called glutton, who eats excessively. Next, nuance, a slight difference in meaning that is difficult to detect, a slight difference. Okay, that is nuance. Okay, by reading articles or by reading especially poems, nuance, small difference, slight difference, we cannot be detect, that cannot be detect, we cannot detect them, that is slight difference. Epitaph, that is another one word substitute. Epitaph means a short text written on a tombstone, that is epitaph, you know, tombstone. Okay, a short written on a tombstone. Epitome, the perfect example of something, that is epitome, perfect example of something, epitome. If you want to give example some quality, then refer one person or one thing, that is epitome. Maxim, a short statement expressing the rule of conduct, that is maxim. Maxim, a short statement expressing the rule of conduct, how to behave, that is maxim. Etiquette, this is always important, etiquette, we have to know etiquette, the rules of accepted polite behavior in a society. So how we have to behave in a class, how we have to behave in a park, how we have to behave in a our home, like etiquette, how we have to behave in a working place. These are all etiquettes. Etiquette means a rule of accepted polite behavior in a society. Etiquette. So these are some examples of one word substitutes. So we have observed, okay, what is the beauty of using one word substitutes. Okay, by using one word substitute we can express our thoughts effectively, as we have observed. Okay, it saves our time also while writing. Okay, these are only examples. Okay, focus on many other one word substitutes, professions, personality types, and places, like that. If you focus more on one word substitute, we can enrich your vocabulary. We are focused today on one word substitutes. So this is one of the main important area in improving vocabulary. So in this uh, part, vocabulary, as you know, so vocabulary is an important area in learning English. We are all other speakers. If you want to speak or write like natives, we have to focus on learning new words or improving our vocabulary. So there are 4 different areas we have identified: using a dictionary, learning root words, learning use and meaning of prefixes and suffixes, and today one word substitutes. If you follow these 4 areas, you can be master in English. You can enrich your English. I hope you will follow all these areas to enrich your vocabulary. Thank you for watching this video. Signing off, Ajay.